I never thought my own mother would pull the rug out from under me on the happiest day of my life. But there she was, lipstick-smeared, champagne flute in hand, announcing to the entire ballroom that she couldn't afford the wedding she'd sworn up and down to help fund. The words hung in the air like tear gas. And before the gasps could even settle, I grabbed the mic from the DJ and said, "That's fine, Mom, because neither could I when I covered your ass for that felony you pinned on me at 16. And just like that, the toasts turned to tombs. And 200 guests watched as the woman who'd birthed me crumbled like the cheap veneer she always was. It started 12 years earlier, back when I was just a wide-eyed kid in suburban Ohio. The kind of place where everyone knows your business but pretends they don't. Mom, Linda, though she'd kill you for calling her that, was the queen bee of our cul-de-sac. All highlights and high heels, juggling PDA meetings with her consulting gig at a mid-tier accounting firm in Columbus. Dad was the steady one, a welder at the auto plant, coming home with grease under his nails and a six-pack in the fridge.
Me?
Nevaeh, named after that Bible verse about a new heaven because Mom thought it sounded exotic. But really, it was just her way of pretending our life was anything but ordinary. The betrayal hit like a freight train one rainy Tuesday in sophomore year. I'd come home from school early, skipping algebra because Becky Harlan had just dumped me as her lab partner over some rumor about my weird thrift store clothes, and found Mom in the kitchen, sobbing over a stack of papers. Not just any papers. Ledgers from her firm, numbers fudged in red ink, emails printed out like scarlet letters. She'd been skimming client funds for months. A cool $250,000 to feed her online shopping habit and that affair with her boss, Mr. Hargrove. The kind of white-collar crime that could have landed her in federal prison. Stripping her of the country club membership she lorded over us like a crown. "Why are you crying, Mom?" I'd asked, dropping my backpack like it was on fire. She looked up, mascara running in black rivers. And for a split second, I saw something raw in her eyes. Fear. Maybe. Or the ghost of the girl she'd buried under Botox and bravado. But then it was gone, replaced by that calculated glint she got when closing a deal. "Nevaeh, baby," she whispered, pulling me into a hug that smelled like Chanel No. 5 and desperation. "I need your help. Just this once. They'll come for me, and if they take me away, you'll lose everything. Your dad will leave, the house, your future. But you're smart. You're invisible. They'll go easy on a kid. I was 16, for God's sake." What did I know about embezzlement? But she spun it like a fairy tale. I'd borrowed the money for a fake school project. Some bullshit about community service funds. She'd coach me on what to say. Plant the evidence in my locker at school. The firm would press charges. But as a juvenile, I'd get probation. Maybe community service. "It's a slap on the wrist," she cooed, stroking my hair. "And I'll make it up to you. College tuition. A car, anything you want. Stupid." Trusting Nevaeh bought it hook, line, and sinker. Dad was clueless, buried in overtime shifts. And Mom was my world, the one who braided my hair for prom photos even though I didn't have a date. So I confessed. Walked into that sterile police station with my knees knocking, stammered out the script she'd rehearsed with me in the mirror. The judge, a grizzled old-timer with a mustache like a broom, looked at me like I was the devil's spawn. "Young lady, this is serious," he drawled in that Midwestern twang. "Embezzlement? At your age, 6 months in juvie. Not the cushy kind you see on TV, real bars, real fights in the rec yard. Real nights staring at the ceiling wondering if Mom was shopping for guilt-free stilettos. Letters came at first. I'm so proud of you for being strong. Baby girl. This is temporary. Then they trickled to postcards from Florida, turns out, with me as the fall guy. The firm cut Mom a deal to stay on as a consultant, and she parlayed it into a cushy remote gig. Dad? He drank himself into a divorce, muttering about that goddamn kid before packing his tools and heading to Michigan for a fresh start. Left me with Mom and a felony record that killed any shot at scholarships. I got out tougher, meaner. Community college on Pell Grants, slinging lattes at a Starbucks in Dayton while Mom recovered with yoga retreats. She threw me a bone now and then, a used Honda Civic when I turned 21, paid for with the very funds I'd supposedly stolen. See? I take care of my girl, she'd say, air-kissing my cheek before jetting off to yet another conference. But the resentment festered like an untreated wound. Every job application ghosted me because of that juvie stint. Every date who bailed when I mentioned my past. Mom. Meanwhile, climbed the ladder, senior VP now, with a McMansion in the burbs and a new husband, stepdad Gary, who sold insurance and thought I was troubled youth material. Fast forward to 32, and I'm Nevaeh 2.0, paralegal at a scrappy firm in Cincinnati, clawing my way toward law school night classes. Enter Jake, my Jake, the golden retriever of men, with his easy laugh and tattoo of a compass on his forearm because life's about direction. Babe. We met at a dive bar during a Reds game, bonding over bad nachos and worse exes. He didn't flinch at my record, hell. He called it battle scars. Proposed on the Ohio River Bridge at sunset. Ring from his grandma's estate. No frills. I said yes. And for the first time, the world felt navigable. The wedding? Our dream on a budget. Backyard ceremony at Jake's family farm outside Lexington, Kentucky, rolling bluegrass, hills, wildflowers, and a tent for 200 of our mishmash crew, his rowdy cousins, my old juvie pals who'd straightened out, a smattering of coworkers. Total cost, $25,000. Scraped together from savings and a small loan. Mom, ever the social climber, insisted on contributing $10,000 for the essentials, catering, flowers, that vintage Mustang for photos. It's my duty as your mother, she'd gushed over FaceTime, Gary nodding like a bobblehead in the background. I swallowed the bile. Figured it was her way of atoning. Or maybe just keeping up appearances for her bridge club. Rehearsal dinner was picture perfect. Fairy lights strung over picnic tables. Jake's mom grilling ribs. Toasts that had me tearing up. Mom arrived fashionably late in a Beamer, hugging me like we were BFFs. You look radiant, darling. Jake's a keeper. Whispered in my ear. Checks in the mail. Mailed it this morning. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? Hope's a hell of a drug. Wedding day dawned crisp. October gold. I slipped into my gown, a simple lace number from a consignment shop, while Jake fidgeted in his tux downstairs. Vows under an arch of sunflowers. Jake's voice cracking on in sickness and health, mine steady as I promised to navigate the storms. Rings exchanged. Cheers erupted. And we danced our first as husband and wife to Sweet Caroline, the crowd belting it out like we were at Fenway. Then the reception. Tables groaning with barbecue and cornbread. Open bar flowing. Speeches kicked off, Jake's best man roasting him about his fantasy football obsession. My maid of honor, Sasha from juvie days, cracking wise about my felonious fashion sense. Laughter rippled. Easy and warm. Mom's turn came last, as tradition demanded. She ascended the small stage in a sapphire sheath that screamed, "I'm the real star," microphone glinting like a weapon. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, voice honeyed with that fake southern lilt she'd picked up from Lifetime movies. "My Nevaeh, my miracle girl, has always been the light of my life. From the day she was born." Blah. Blah. The sanitized version. No juvie. No fraud. Just challenges we overcame together. Guests nodded, misty-eyed. I stood beside Jake, hand in his, smiling through gritted teeth. Then the pivot. But as I look at this beautiful spread, the flowers, the feast, I have to be honest. Pause for effect. Scanning the room like a politician. Times are tough. Gary's firm is downsizing. Investments tanked. I can't pay for this. Not like I planned. Gasps. Murmurs. Jake's grip tightened. My stomach dropped like I'd been gut-punched. The check? A lie. Just like everything. She kept going, oblivious or uncaring. "It's not fair to burden you kids with more debt. Consider it my gift, freedom from obligation." Applause? Scattered. Awkward. A few aunties whispered. Classy. I saw red, literal. Pulsing. 10 grand wasn't chump change. It was our honeymoon fund. Our down payment seed. But worse, it was her final fuck you. Proving she'd never pay up. Not for the money. Not for the years she'd stolen from me. I didn't think. Just moved. Snatched the mic from her manicured fingers mid-curtsy. Freedom from obligation? My voice boomed. Amplified. Every syllable a slap. That's rich. Coming from you. Mom. Remember when I was 16? When I went to juvie for your embezzlement. Confessed to stealing that money so you could keep your job, your life, your lies? The room froze. Forks clattered. Jake's eyes widened. He'd known the outlines. Not the gory details. Mom's face drained of color. But she recovered fast. That schemer's smile flickering back. Nevaeh. Darling. Not now. This is your day. Hisses from the crowd. Phones were out. Recording. Oh. It's my day. All right. I shot back. Heart hammering like a jackhammer. And you're done ruining it. Everyone. Meet Linda Hargrove, yeah. She took his name after the affair. The one that started it all. She framed her own daughter for fraud. Let me rot while she climbed the corporate ladder. And now, she bails on the wedding she promised to fund. Toast to that. Y'all. Chaos erupted. Jake's mom crossed her arms. Glaring daggers. Sasha hooped. Get her. Nev. Mom lunged for the mic. But security, Jake's burly uncle, stepped in. Ma'am. Maybe outside. She stormed off, wailing about ungrateful brat, Gary trailing like a whipped dog. I handed the mic back, legs jelly, and collapsed into Jake's arms. Babe. You okay? He murmured. No. But, for the first time, I was free. That night, as the party limped on, brave souls dancing to cover the awkward, words spread like wildfire. Texts from cousins. Is it true? Emails from mom's firm contacts. HR called. Investigation reopening. By morning, her LinkedIn was a graveyard of unfollows. Gary packing suitcases in the hotel lobby. But Mom? She didn't go quietly. Oh no. That was just intermission. The fallout hit like a Category 5 hurricane, ripping through what was left of our family ties and scattering debris across state lines. Jake and I honeymooned in the Smokies anyway, cabins and campfires. No five-star bullshit, talking it out over s'mores. You dropped a bomb. Nev, he said one night, firelight dancing on his face. But damn if it wasn't deserved. I nodded. But sleep evaded me. Revenge tasted sweet at first, like moonshine burning clean, but it curdled quick. Was I the villain now? Exposing her on TikTok went viral, juvie bride. 2 million views, strangers cheering queen shit, while others branded me vindictive snowflake. Polarizing, just like I'd subconsciously scripted. Back home, in our shoebox apartment overlooking the Cincinnati skyline, reality crashed in. Mom went radio silent for a week. Then the calls started. Not apologies, oh. Hell no. Accusations. Laced with that passive-aggressive venom she'd perfected. How could you humiliate me like that? In front of everyone? Gary's talking divorce. Nevea. My career, gone. Because of you. As if I'd forged the ledgers myself. I blocked her number. But she pivoted to emails, carbon copying Jake like he was her therapist. Tell your wife she's destroying a family. Again. Jake fielded a few. His Kentucky drawl polite but firm. Ma'am. That's between y'all. But the guilt gnawed at me. Stepdad Gary? Harmless schlub. Caught in the crossfire. And Mom's career, sure. She'd clawed her way up on my back, but watching her empire crumble from afar felt hollow. Like punching a shadow. Then the twist. A manila envelope arrived. No return address. Postmarked Columbus. Inside, court documents from my juvie case. Yellowed and annotated in Mom's looping script. Read this. Traitor. A sticky note read. Heart pounding. I pored over it under the kitchen fluorescence. Buried in the plea deal footnotes, Mom hadn't just framed me. She'd bribed the prosecutor, a consulting fee funneled through Hargrove's slush fund, to ensure I took the full fall. But the real kicker? Dad knew. Not the details, but enough. A notarized affidavit from 2012. He'd signed off on the cover-up, trading his silence for Mom's promise to fund Nevea's future. The car. The vague college talk, it was all hush money. Dad. My rock. Or so I'd thought. The man who'd visited me in lockup with contraband Snickers. Who'd cried at my release barbecue. All an act. I called him that night. Voice steel. Why? Dad, you let her do that to me? Silence. Then a wheeze. Emphysema from the mill fumes. Nev. It was to protect you. She said it'd blow over. I was weak. Weak? It was complicity. Plain and rotten. He begged forgiveness. Offered to testify. But the damage was done. Another betrayal. Layered like onion skin. Mom. Sensing blood in the water. Flipped the script overnight. Voicemails shifted from rage to remorse. Baby, I was wrong. Therapy. AA, whatever you want. Let's heal this. Gary chimed in with emails about family counseling. It reeked of strategy. Her firm's internal probe had leaked to the press. Columbus Dispatch headline. Wedding bombshell uncovers decade-old fraud. She was suspended pending investigation. Assets frozen. Desperate. She was circling back. The chameleon she'd always been. I could have let it lie. Played the bigger person. Jake urged mercy. Forgive. Don't forget. For you. Not her. But the fire in my gut? Unquenchable. Revenge round 2 brewed slow. A pot of gumbo simmering with spite. I lawyered up pro bono for my firm, irony noted, and filed a civil suit. Not for the 10 grand, for defamation. Emotional distress. The whole emotional piñata. Mom's lies at the wedding? Slander. Broadcast to thousands. The juvie frame-up? Grounds for overturning my record. Maybe even restitution. Discovery was a bloodbath. Depositions in a sterile conference room. Mom across the table in a pantsuit 2 sizes too tight. Eyes darting like a cornered fox. I did it for love, she testified. Voice quavering for the stenographer. Love of her lifestyle. Maybe. Gary squirmed beside her, admitting he'd known bits but stayed out of it. Dad's video depot from Michigan was pitiful, hunched in a trailer park, coughing through excuses. I thought it was best. The press ate it up. Local news vans camped outside court. Dysfunction Junction segments on the evening broadcast. Online, forums lit up. Reddit's r/am I the asshole crown me AITA for the wedding mic drop. But AITA for suing my own mom? Split down the middle. She's getting justice versus Pity, ready to go. Karen. Jake and I fielded hate mail, homewrecker spawn to one, feminist icon to the other. Even Sasha texted. You sure about this? Feels like eating your own tail. Doubt crept in during the long nights. Jake snoring beside me as I scrolled comment sections. Was I any better? Scheming like her? Flipping from victim to avenger? The suit dragged into winter. Holidays a minefield. Jake's folks hosting a tense Thanksgiving where his mom side-eyed my drama. Mom sent gifts, a monogrammed throw blanket, for cozy nights ahead. I donated it to Goodwill. Climax hit in February. A gray Cincinnati slush day. Mediation chamber. Fluorescent hum. Coffee gone cold. Mom's lawyer, a slick weasel from her old firm, pushed settlement. $50,000. NDA. Family therapy. I countered. Full record expungement. Public apology on her socials. And 20% of her pension funneled to a youth justice nonprofit. In Nevaeh's name, my attorney added, smirking. Mom balked, then broke. Tears. Real ones this time? Or Oscar bait? You win, Nevaeh. But know this, I did love you. In my way. We shook on it. Her hand clammy. Gary avoiding my eyes. Walking out into the sleet. Jake waiting with hot cocoa. I felt nothing. Victory? Pyrrhic at best. But Mom's flips weren't done. A week later. Bombshell 2. Anonymous tip to my firm. An ethics violation from my paralegal days. Nothing major. A missed deadline on a filing, but enough to flag review. Source? Traced to a burner email. But the phrasing? Pure mom. For the greater good. Darling. Retaliation. Petty and precise. My boss called me in. Eyebrows furrowed. Nevaeh. We value you. But. Probation. Docked pay. Jake raged. Sue her ass again. But I saw the pattern, her MO. Lashing out when cornered. Then reeling back with olive branches. Enough. Round 3. The real revenge. The one that'd split spines. I went public. Full throttle. No lawsuit this time, just truth. Raw and unfiltered. Sat for a podcast. Unsentenced, spilling it all. The frame up. The wedding gut punch. The mediation mindfuck. Went viral again. Sponsors calling. Book agents sniffing. Mom? She lawyered up harder. Countersuing for intentional infliction, claiming I'd caused her a nervous breakdown. Therapy notes leaked, her shrink diagnosing narcissistic injury from my attacks. Cue the think pieces. Is exposing family trauma empowerment or exploitation? Jake and I decamped to his farm for spring, planting tomatoes as therapy. Whatever happens, we're solid, he said, dirt under his nails. I believed him. But the calls kept coming from Dad, begging a visit, from Gary, hinting at assets if I drop it. Mom's final play? A handwritten letter, delivered by courier. Nevaeh. Stop this cycle.
Meet me.
One lunch. For old times. I almost burned it. Almost. But curiosity's a bitch. Lunch was at a kitschy diner off I-71. The kind with checkered floors and pie under glass domes. Neutral ground. Her choice. I arrived early, sliding into a booth with a view of the parking lot. Heart thumping like bass at a hoedown. Jake waited in the car. Engine idling. Text if it's weird. Mom pulled up in a rental Prius. Beamers repossessed. No doubt, stepping out in jeans and a sweater. No makeup. Looking every day of her 58 years. Vulnerable? Or another mask? She slid in opposite, ordering black coffee with a tremble. Thanks for coming. No, darling, no airs. We danced small talk, whether Jake's new job at the distillery, until the waitress cleared plates. Then it poured out.
Why?
Mom? Really? Not accusatory. Just bone-tired. She stirred her mug.
Spoon clinking like chains.
Fear. Nevaeh. Bone deep. My own mom, your grandma, drank herself dead after Dad left. I swore I'd never be poor. Never weak. The money. It was control.
And you?
You were my out. My do-over. Tears welled. But I held firm. No hugs this round. And the wedding? The check lie. She winced. Panic. Gary's gambling again. Poker nights turned pro. I couldn't admit it. Not to you. Not after everything. Thought I'd bluff through. Like always.
Bluff.
Her life's poker hand. All bluffs and folds. I leaned in. I'm dropping the countersuit. But no more contact. No emails. No therapy. You're out. Her face crumpled. Genuine? Nevaeh.
Please.
I can change. Too late for that. But as I stood to leave, she grabbed my wrist. Grip surprisingly strong.
Wait.
One more thing. From her purse. A USB drive. Matte black. Everything. Emails. Ledgers. The bribe receipts. Not just mine. Hargrove's too. Clean sweep. Use it. Burn it. Whatever. But no, your dad. He didn't just sign off. He took a cut. 10 grand. Wired to his account. For emergencies. The drive felt like lead in my palm. Dad's betrayal.
Deepened.
I pocketed it. Walked out without a word. In the car, Jake raised a brow.
Done.
For now. What I did next. The twist that'll have arguing till kingdom come. Uploaded the files, not all. Redacted for the innocent, to a whistleblower site. WikiLeaks style. Tagged the dispatch. The firm's board. Even the Ohio AG. Headed justice for the framed. A mother's ledger. Within hours. Hargrove resigned in disgrace. Mom's suspension turned termination, with severance clawed back.
Dad? Cops at his door by dawn.
That old wire transfer resurfacing like a bad tattoo. Mom vanished. Rumors of a cousin's couch in Florida. Gary filing for separation. She never reached out. Not even a fuck you. Dad called once. Voice broken. Nev. Why? Because cycles break. Or they swallow you whole. Ending?
Depends who you ask.
Jake and I bought a fixer-upper in Kentucky. Baby on the way, girl. If she makes it. I passed the bar last month, specializing in wrongful convictions. Podcast turned book deal. Proceeds to juvie reform.
Happy?
In the American dream sense, hard one.
Gritty.
But on quiet nights, staring at the ceiling, I wonder, did I avenge? Or just become her? Expose truths? Sure. But shattered lives in the collateral. Mom rots in obscurity. Dad in a cell for accessory fraud, poetic. Or cruel. Listeners debate it still. Heroic takedown versus vengeful monster. Family's sacred.
Me?
I sleep sounder now. Revenge isn't a straight road. It's a dirt path through the hollers, full of switchbacks and what-ifs. But damn if I didn't drive it to the end.